Sorry. I had to take a small break. Anyway, the glare is real. So, like I said, I know, that, Summer's thought of and missed and cared for. And I know the community wants her home, and that Candace definitely does, And I don't think Candace had anything to do with this. I don't think the boys had anything to do with this. In me personally, I think she was taken. By who? I don't know. I don't think it was animal related or anything, or I'm quite positive we would have all found tracks and obvious signs. But like I said at the beginning of this, had you 2 seconds before that day, before the calls for Summer started coming off of that hill, ever asked me if our children could be taken from us on Candace's property or the one we were on until just a short few days ago, I would have laughed. Because on our particular properties, and I think I missed this point earlier and got a little distracted, the one connected to Candace, fully connected, had never even seen Summer. And there's nothing but, like a little bit between them, but they had never laid eyes on Summer. Didn't know what she looked like. And they're good people. It's not anything like that. It's just that that's how it works around there. And how different the views and the sounds and things are. And that's something else I need to touch on. So what I'm going to tell you next, about the sounds and why it is that other neighbors that were outside around the same time I was, or that the scream happened, didn't seem to hear it, but we heard it, is because of the way these properties are shaped and the road is shaped and the hollow itself is, and how drastically different it is from each property to each property. But for weeks, as these searches went on, or at night when it got quieter, or when the drones and the helicopters finally stopped, I sat there as the foliage changed and keeping watch over my own daughter and my kid, and that I was doing so was absolutely used to further abuse myself and these children, and to commit the last weeks of abuse against us. This Summer situation was absolutely used to manipulate, hide things from us, and to abuse us, which is pretty wild in normal people's lives. But kept a watch over these two, especially because, she's the last little girl in there, plus the time the boys were still in there. There's other things close that I'm not going to name, because even though some of these groups don't have a problem, like with property maps coming out and this coming out and maybe don't realize sometimes that it could be leading predators right back in, or especially with, you know, it being common knowledge that the very thing that makes this community, is also maybe its vulnerabilities like cell phone service, cop time, So posting or sharing some of the property stuff, or I know there's been a lot of people since the beginning going real life. We've had more than a few, and just not long before we were out of there. I mean, we had people that were probably mistaken. I don't know, but they were in there screaming at other neighbors going through cancer treatment, just like I was, pulled in for no reason, and were screaming at them, and then come by and are calling my daughter a freak, and I mean, you just don't understand, and Bigfoot hunters and psychics fighting in the middle of the road, and the wildness. So, had a perpetrator come back in, we don't know, and it would have been hard to tell with all the real life people coming in there. It just added more confusion once the road was opened back up. And chaos for all of us, and definitely kept myself on point. No sleep, cancer. I mean, it was some of the most difficult weeks of my life, and it weighs heavy. This was, and there's past tense, and I'm sorry. This is a child we know personally. One, I've changed her diapers and fed her. Um, just seeing her in person just a day or two before. Um, and as you can imagine, my children did not take it well, especially my daughter, and she's sensitive. Anyway, and knowing that our abuser used that knowledge against her is one of the last things he tormented her with personally. Was about summer and how she felt about it and did things to make sure. But we went through weeks of my youngest being scared and having all kinds of it, and she still is very sensitive to it, obviously. And it took a toll on her, and then what was done recently has again. Anyway, with the property sounds. Sorry. The neighbors connected, and here's the thing, I asked for somebody to help me run testing or something, because all these nights that I walked this bank and these hills and the woods and made sure of sounds and how I was hearing things, especially as the foliage changed, because it does change and pick up differently during different seasons. I was trying to make sure as all the foliage, that it hadn't changed it too much. So, anyway, the pieces kind of came together. I mean, I knew why, but I was just trying to have confirmation of that. And I'd asked for people to help me figure out how to test that. And until recently, so somebody did, and we kind of made sure that would happen before our final days at the property recently. And it's on videotape. It's been recorded. That I'm not wrong. I wasn't wrong from the beginning. But the reasons why this sound was picked up by us, and we heard the scream, but Candace couldn't, the other neighbors couldn't, but we could hear it clear as day. Hold on.